If you've been in Yu-Gi-Oh for a hot minute, you know about the Air Neos quote-unquote controversy. However, I didn't actually have anything definitive on it, so lo and behold, TGS Anime got us covered with the Air Neos disappearance solved, the redacted court case. I'm ready for this personally. By, of course, TGS Anime.
In Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, when Jaden had Elemental Hero Neos and Air Hummingbird on the field, he could contact fuse the two monsters together to make Elemental Hero. He could contact fuse them together to make Elemental Hero. What is happening? Oh my god! Okay. He could summon Elemental Hero Air Neos.
My god!
Oh, they're on to me! Yes, something happened to this monster after its appearance in the anime, and then after its release in the Strike of Neos pack, which it was the...
Good god, the fact that I remember that. I remember Dark Neostorm. I need to go take some ibuprofen.
The card 4, strange things started to happen. Air Neos, after Strike of Neos, never got a reprint. Card artworks that it...
Yo, wait a minute. Oh my god, what shop was that?
Air Neos...
I remember that UI. I remember this shop. I don't remember the name offhand. I've bought from them before. Wow, it's been a minute.
After Strike of Neos, never got a reprint. Card artworks that it appeared in, well, it was removed from them. New Yu-Gi-Oh games that come out, well, Air Neos is missing. Try and search for it in those games, and nothing comes up. Remakes of the hero cards in spin-off Yu-Gi-Oh games like Rush Duel, well, it gets a completely new name and design.
Nice.
What's going on here? What did Air Neos do? Well, for the longest time, all we got was theories. One was that it was something to do with the monster's name, Air Neos, since there was a private Italian airline known as Neos Airline. And what's its logo? A red bird. Coincidence?
I guess, yeah.
Yes, actually, because this wasn't the reason why. So then, maybe it's something to do with the design. Is Air Neos infringing on some other comic book character that is a red feathered creature?
I was under the impression before going into this, I was under the impression that the artist for Air Neos, it was something with their contract. This is what I've heard. This is hearsay going into this. It was something with their contract or the fact that they did art for something else, and that caused a dispute. Now, I have not had that substantiated, which is why I'm here today to figure out what exactly happened, because GX is one of my favorite anime of all time, and I really like TGS Anime's content. Wink, wink, you should go check them out in the description down below.
Well, while there were a few avian characters and a few red characters, nothing looked like it borrowed a bit too heavily from it. And so, for nearly 20 years, this mystery would prevail. Until today. In a shocking discovery made on the Facebook group Zodiac Duelist,
hi Zodiac,
by a
it's
user
been a
called
minute.
Miles Smith on behalf of his friend Yugioh.win.
Good god, it's been a minute. I used to be old Kip, not Kip, actual IRL Kip, used to be part of Zodiac. Oh my god, it's been a minute. I haven't heard that name in 10 years.
The reason has been found. It turns out, after combing through a bunch of court cases, there was one between a certain Konami and another certain BeyondComics. Because it was alleged to be infringing on the copyright of Ravedactyl.
Literally who?
I will.
What? Okay.
It turns out.
Yeah, I can see where we start getting into Jif Lemon territory there, 100%.
A company called BeyondComics Incorporated, specifically creator Graig Weich, had made a comic book character, Ravedactyl, and believed that Air Neos had taken from its design. In the court case, BeyondComics seek damages worth $70 million. Ravedactyl was created in 1989, was registered for copyright protection in 1993, got approved in 1994, and then made its first appearance 4 years later on the BeyondComic website in 1998.
Okay.
Incredibly, YouTuber Ruxin actually managed to get a interview with Graig, so
Oh,
we
that's
got
cool.
more scoops on the details. I'm going to highly recommend you check out that full interview because it goes into so much more detail, but I'm going to cover just the bits and pieces that I think are worth discussing, but I'll leave links in the description. Ruxin asked him about the whole event. Graig said that he would have lost the rights to his character if he didn't defend the copyrights that he had worked so hard on. He says after he saw the character, he approached Konami, asked them for some sort of credit or some sort of financial benefit for the use of the likeness of his character, and they said no. Because of this, a court case ensued. The hero Ravedactyl was designed as someone with an aerodynamic helmet, uniquely pointed at the front and back, a pointed chin guard, a yellow egg-like spot on his head, glowing blue eyes, a humanoid face, red smooth armor outlined around the muscles, which are in blue, solid feathered metallic wings, hands that are sharp and pointed at the knuckles, sharp elbows. Power-wise, Ravedactyl can travel through time, he can fly, he can transform, and his costume was created by aliens. In the court case, it actually reveals that Kazuki Takahashi made an appearance at a Comic-Con in San Diego in 2006 promoting Yugioh, which was next to a display promoting Ravedactyl. It's worth mentioning as well, Graig Weich on his own YouTube channel recently has just stated that Konami did say in an interview that they would go to Comic-Cons, look at independent artists' heroes as inspiration for their own new hero wave designs. So,
So I think the thing that's been interesting to think about is Japanese law is different. The way I understand it is that fair use does not exist in Japan. So my current kind of like thing I've been trying to problem solve is if GIF Lemon is applicable over in Japan, or if there's specific interactions that do and don't work with that. We did a prior video on it. GIF Lemon is a very big landmark case in regards to the world of copyright. It sets in regards to, you know, how does the other product affect the market? Is it seen as a replacement, etc. So I feel that even in something like this, GIF Lemon would apply. But once again, I don't know what the. I'm so sorry for that pause, champ TGS. I am so sorry. I don't know how I do this. I don't really know if GIF Lemon is applicable or it has a limited application in Japanese copyright law.
Comics ordered a cease and desist, telling 4Kids to stop selling, displaying, airing, or in any way profiting from the Air Neo's character. However, 4Kids continued to do so, with Air Neos making another anime appearance and having its own booster pack made. Now, while I'm going to stress once again, you should absolutely watch Ruxin's full interview with Graig so you can get the full scoop on all of the details, or watch Graig's video on his channel. Obviously, this is just from one perspective. We don't get Konami's perspective on this thing because they never talk. So it is important to take this information with a grain of salt.
Konami never talks. Oh boy, that is a as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, that hits right at home. Why did we put branded fusion to one, Konami? A few formats too late, wasn't it? Oh my god, understatement of the century.
There could be more to it. In the end, we didn't get a definitive outcome whether the work was taken or not. So a settlement was made. Apparently big companies, despite the amount of wealth that they have, they still don't want to go to court cases. However, any more details of the settlement can't be revealed due to an NDA.
Yep.
However, it would be safe to assume that as part of the settlement, Konami either said, agreed, or just said to themselves, we're not going to make any more products featuring Air Neos. We're going to just let it go away. But
for legal reasons, obviously, that's just speculation. I mean, these are the things that do come out. Like, even if somebody wants to talk, they are bound by NDAs. This is why when we talk about NDAs, or when we talk about in the military, OPSEC, right, operational security, people don't have to know. Right now, if an NDA is covering up something illegal, like actual like fraud, you know, okay, that's a little different. And that's where you go into whistleblower status, right? But like, respect NDAs. I don't think you understand that NDAs are literally the you've activated my trap card. Hi, dear chat member. I'd like to talk about this. No, joke's on you. I have an NDA. Now, there are also NDAs for NDAs. As far as I'm aware, you can layer NDAs, so you can't even let anybody know that you're under an NDA for something because there's an NDA on the NDA. This is actually why the world of legal does fascinate me, despite being just a dingus on the internet with a passing knowledge. Not even passing knowledge. I enjoy these subjects. I very much enjoy them. They're very... They hit the same part of my brain that tries to figure out rulings, right? Like, how does Book of Moon interact with Guardian Chimera? How does Mystical Space Typhoon or Galaxy Cyclone interact as a chain link 2 with Call of the Haunted on a Tellarknight Deneb, right? Like how you have to like rule certain things. Naruto CCG, you have two Mifune attacking each other. Mifune says to negate all effects your opponent's control, right? Of all your ninjas your opponent controls, right? How do you figure that out? How do you rule that? Is it ruled that it's the Mifune that came into play first gets priority, or is the attacking Mifune gets priority? The answer was it was the attacking Mifune does get priority because attacker priority, jutsu priority, etc. But I think legal hits that same part of my brain. So things like this do fascinate me. But at the end of the day, if it is under an NDA, I'm pretty sure we unanimously across the board go, yeah, we'd like to know what happened, but we do respect the NDA.
Graig did say in his Ruxin interview he would be open to talking with Konami to get Air Neos back in the public eye. In the end, it is unclear whether it was just a coincidence or if Air Neos did take a bit too heavily from the Ravedactyl character. And unfortunately, we may never know. However, the most important thing from all this is we finally know the answer. We know now why Air Neos got like obliterated from our minds, mind crushed, if you will. And it's fantastic to know that now. Now all we need to find out, what happened to this monster? We must know. And check out all the links in the description for the court case and everything. Bye, everyone.
I will be sure to not only cite TGS Anime, as he does amazing content, I will be sure as well to cite all of those links in the description for you. I would absolutely recommend checking out his original video, though. I would also recommend checking out the original video and channel of the individual in question. I've never seen Ravedactyl prior to this. Honestly, love the design. I think it's super cool. I think it's super neat. And I think this is going to be an interesting thing to look at from a legal perspective. Whether you're to have a passing interest in it or whether you do have legal expertise. It's been really fun to watch this. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you TGS Anime for such an amazing video. I really do appreciate your uploads. They make my day. I keep trucking. You're doing really good. And I'll see you all in the next one.